Hi, everyone. Welcome back. I know I've been gone a while, but this is Podgecast Ep2. Kind of an update on where I've been, what's been going on, what I've been doing here the last very recently, and my plans moving forward. Well, I know it's been, April, so 4 or 5 months since my last update. My first update, really, my first podcast episode. But I know I wanted to be a content creator, and I know I wanted to make a podcast about being a content creator, but I've been dealing with some medical issues. Anybody who knows me personally knows I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes a couple of years ago. Also thyroid cancer, and I had a complete thyroidectomy, and since then I've had some pretty severe gastrointestinal problems and some other issues arise that I've been kind of working through that have been putting me out of commission in more ways than one. Um, so I'm just trying to come back, ease into it a little bit, make an update to the podcast, put something up to the YouTube channel, try to commit to doing this more. I want to do this, something I really want to do. So I'm just going to do it. In terms of where I've been, like I said, I've been dealing with some medical issues, some mental health issues, some motivational issues. Also, just having a life, having a full time job, having a young daughter who just turned 4 last month, which was exciting. We did a whole big thing for her. My wife did anyway. It was real nice, real magical. I was sick for a large part of it, which has been pretty much the usual over the last few months, in and out of the hospital and things of that nature, but we won't go too far into that. As far as my plans going forward, I want to, again, continue uploading episodes of the podcast, maybe make a different type of podcast at some point, or this will turn into something a little bit more cohesive, a little bit more well defined, which would be nice, a little bit more structured, more consistent, to be absolutely certain. But I've been really struggling with the videos to make. When I do have the motivation and stuff like that, when motivation and health and things like that aren't an issue, my biggest issue is what do I do? Everything that seems kind of interesting or like I think would be a decent idea or something I would like to do or I could do feels like a drop in the bucket. When I mean, in terms of like, gameplay videos and things of that nature. And I'm sure all content creators go through that. Who am I? Why am I special? And I'm not anybody special. Again, I don't want to be anybody special or particularly large or famous. This is just something that I want to do to help give me a sense of fulfillment and just something I think would be fun and cool. And anybody who maybe trying to start a career path like this as like an actual career path or want to do something might be able to take a couple of tips or tricks or some of my experience and work from it, make it, turn it to their own thing, make it better. Obviously, don't make mistakes I made or see some of the pitfalls or some of the trappings that come with that, and know that they're not alone. That, you know, I'm sure most, if not all, content creators deal with issues of this nature or something like that. Well, my biggest issue is, again, what do I make and how do I go about doing it? There's games that I want to play and stuff like that, but are they the right kind of game to make a video over or a video on? Do I want to just be another gaming content creator where I just do let's plays, long plays, whatever? I'm saying, oh, I'm going to sit down and play through, I don't know, the new Star Wars game, or I don't know what's coming out soon. Black Ops 6 is coming out soon. Things of that. Do I just want to make some videos of me just playing games and just kind of naturally talking over that, streaming, interacting with the community when if I can build something like that? Do I want to do something like, some of the other content creators you see where they, take YouTube videos, clown. They take, Minecraft videos or other single player videos and just like record basically B-roll footage and just talk over it, or have like a script that they talk over, those like Reddit thread videos where it's just somebody playing a game and reading Reddit threads of, am I the a-hole for this, or, what happened when this situation here, blah, blah, blah. Which again, there's nothing wrong with it doing any of that. That's not what I'm saying. It's just that it's one of those, it kind of feels like I'm a person and I make that video, but how many other dozens, hundreds, thousands of creators are making those videos? You know what I'm saying? So it's a struggle to kind of be like, well, if someone else is doing it or already doing it better, why would I do it too? But that's kind of the point, is you do it too. Everyone does it. I mean, not everyone watches Markiplier or, I don't know, Dead by Daylight creators, scary game creators, not creators, but people who play scary games, people who play funny games. Russian Badger plays a lot of games with his friends and stuff like that. I mean, just different content creators that I follow and watch from time to time. It's kind of hard to be like, to see someone do something like that and be like, oh, let me do the same thing, but he's over here getting so many millions of views or so many hundreds of thousands of views, but I'm gonna get middling views, if any. But everyone starts somewhere, and I mean, they all started somewhere. Granted, it may have been a decade or more ago, but they all started somewhere, and everyone can find their niche and fall into doing what they want to do, even if they don't get, again, big success. It's something they can do, and they have a community, and that's their thing. They get, a couple of tens of thousands of views, and they have, a couple of thousand or a couple of hundred people who watch them stream couple times a week and stuff like that, and that's their community they interact with on a daily or weekly basis and stuff like that, and that's okay. And I guess I'm not struggling to come to terms with that, but I'm kind of struggling to come to terms with that. Like, everyone obviously wants the success and the revenue that comes from that and things like that, and again, that's not necessarily what I want, but it always would be nice. So I guess I have to find my way of getting over that or getting through that and being like, even if I put something out and 2 people watch it, that's fine. That's people who watched it, who didn't watch it before, who may learn something, may gain some insight. Just a new experience for them to have, a new experience for me to have, for me to do. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do with that, and what I'm kind of trying to keep that motivational spirit and idea alive, and try to just make content. Doesn't matter. I want to make content and put it out. And I think that will be, the act of doing it will be fulfilling. It doesn't matter the reception or the amount of views or the whatever. It's the fact that I've done it and put it out there, and that's what's going to make me feel good, not the reaction to it. So I think that's where I'm at with that. Speaking of, last night I tried to stream Lightyear Frontier, which is a game that came out. I think it's still in preview. It came out on Xbox Game Pass a little bit ago, and I was kind of interested in trying it. I downloaded it and hadn't really ever played it, so I started playing it the other day and played it for a few minutes and was like, you know what, this is something I could do. I could play this game and kind of talk over it, and if I ended up streaming or doing something like that, I have a little list of like topics and things like that I wanted to kind of just talk about or ramble about, or whatever things I think are kind of cool and interesting. Specifically science related, because it's a game where you're, kind of low key futuristic. You're in like a mech suit and you land on a distant alien planet, and you gotta, farm up resources and build a little base, build stuff up, upgrade your stuff, and, find out the mysteries of the planet and all that kind of thing. One of those type of games. And so I think that's what I was trying to do last night, and I tried to live stream it directly to YouTube, and was just having a ton of trouble, just because my first experience trying to do that, and it was kind of frustrating. I even have notes after my 3 or 4 attempts last night. I sat down and wrote out a bunch of notes about what happened, what I thought went wrong, what did go wrong for sure, possible solutions, how I plan on fixing them, that kind of thing. So it's kind of one of the things I want to kind of go over and do. Like, if this is going to be a podcast about becoming a content creator, one of the things I'm going to talk about, one of the things I want to talk about is failing. And not necessarily failing, but trying to make content and it not working out and how you kind of come back from that. So like I said, I was trying to stream to YouTube last night. It just went all sorts of wrong. I couldn't get my audio right. I can never get my audio right, my modulation, my layering, whatever you want to call it. Everything either sounds like garbage or I just can't, the game audio is too loud, my audio is too loud, or vice versa. It's too quiet either way, both ways. Once I kind of got it sort of worked out to where the audio was okay, passable for an early video kind of thing, low quality as everyone kind of starts out until they get the experience and get better. My camera quit working 10, 11, 12 minutes in. The video is, because I live streamed it, it went right up onto my YouTube channel. So if you end up seeing this, I'm sure you can watch that as well. I'm not going to take it down for any reason. It's just an example of trying and not succeeding, and this would be my first attempt kind of thing, and then hopefully I make a better video and hey, this is what it turned out to be after I did a little bit of research or had to learn how to troubleshoot or had to figure out certain problems, stuff like that. So after my camera quit working, which I think I figured out my camera issue because I use a laptop right now, and I don't use my laptop camera. Obviously this camera quality is way better than a laptop camera. I have a Razer Kio Pro or something like that, I believe. It overheats, but only I think because my laptop overheats. It's a good laptop, but it just spits out a ton of heat when it uses its thing, or when it does its thing. So I'm gonna try to move it to a different location, my camera, so maybe it doesn't get all that warm air and maybe freeze up or crash, lag, whatever the situation may be. So, excuse me. After the whole YouTube thing, stream it straight to YouTube didn't really work out, I tried to stream to YouTube through OBS on a recommendation of by my wife. I do have the OBS software and stuff like that. Again, just never really used it. So once I tried to do that, it didn't work either. I've always had a problem with stream overlays and things of that nature. They just for some reason don't make sense to my ADHD brain. I just need to do more research, more looking into, how to actually do it. Maybe I'm just kind of flying by the seat of my pants, think I know what I'm doing or have a basic idea, and it's just not not landing. So my camera overlay just stops working. I don't know if it was something to do with the Xbox PC app or something like that, or again, maybe the overheating or whatever. But after that didn't work, trying to stream right to YouTube from OBS, I just got very, very frustrated. Stepped away, took a few minute break. Sorry, my watch is going nuts. Took a few minute break and sat back down and came back to it and decided, okay, I'll just use OBS and I'll record it. I'll record it and then upload it to YouTube, which is what I did with my last Harold Halibut video, but I think I played that right from my Xbox, which is another option I kind of want to explore. I can probably plug my camera into my Xbox, stream right to Twitch or something, and then just take that VOD, upload it to YouTube after a little bit of editing or whatever. Hopefully the audio isn't dog water, and hopefully the video kind of works, because I would like to put my face in my videos. That's why I bought an expensive camera. So after settling on recording, sorry, I'm going to keep looking down at my note page. After settling on recording, I was like, okay, let me just kind of do something. Let me just play a little bit and record, and I'll take that footage, and if it's good, I'll use it. If it's garbage, I'll analyze what went wrong and see how I can fix it for next time. So when I started recording and started doing it, I kept hearing a wicked echo. It was terrible. I've got this microphone in front of me, which here I am using, and hopefully it works. If I do another recording and my audio is just muted or doesn't work or sounds like garbage, I'm going to be so incredibly frustrated. But I heard the echoing, and I thought it was just me in my headset because I thought I was hearing my desktop audio. Because again, I don't know how to use an audio mixer to save my skin. So I thought it was just me hearing doubles, and hopefully the recording or whatever wouldn't be hearing all of that. So I went through and kind of looked around at some of my settings, changed one setting real quick, tested it, still heard it, changed it back, said, you know what, let's just do it. After recording for, it was like 40, 45 minutes, something like that, I got through a decent little chunk of the game, did some stuff. I was like, hey, I made some progress. That's cool, blah, blah. I did a little bit of talking. Again, not a whole bunch of that I wanted to. Didn't really get a chance to talk about all of the science topics or whatever and kind of like ramble like I wanted to, because that's more of a doing it while live streaming. Hopefully people are watching and can interact, because I like to teach and learn by proxy and things of that nature. So I mean, I'm not going to sit here during a recording and just be like, hey, did you guys know about this thing here? Blah, blah, blah. I'm not a teacher, stuff like that. And that for me, that stuff is way easier and comes across way better when I'm having a discussion. So I have recorded for 45 minutes or so, and you know what? Cool, done. Got to a stopping point in the game, called it quits, shut down the recording, and then went back to check the video and things of that nature. And I was like, all right, cool. Started watching it, heard the echo right off rip in the recording. Devastated. But as I kept watching for a few minutes, that setting that I mentioned earlier that I had checked and then almost immediately unchecked solved the solved the uh, solved the echo issue. Now the unfortunate byproduct of that is that you would have only heard my voice and none of the game audio. But to me, that was better than nothing. At least I would have had good quality video and pretty good quality audio, even if it was just me talking for 45 minutes, whatever. It was something I wanted to do. So I was so beat up last night. It was like 11:30 at night. I was like, I just recorded after 11:30, and all I got out of it was a 42-minute recording that was dog water, and I had started at like 9:15 that night. It was like 2 hours worth of heartache trying to get the streaming to work the first time, the streaming to work through OBS the second time, the recording to work. It just everything. I was just like, you have got to be joking. But I'm pretty sure I figured out what my issues were, and I figured out some ideas on how to fix them, and figured out some ideas on how to learn how to fix them. So my biggest thing was learn OBS. Find some tutorials, look it up online, whatever. Learn how to make your scenes, how to make your layers, how to do this, that, and the other, how to make your audio mixer work, and all this kind of stuff. So I did a little bit of that. And I had a couple of questions last night when I was writing my notes. So one of the things I did after I sat down and did the recording and stuff like that, and it was like 11:15, 11:30, and I was done, was, okay, immediately while everything is fresh in my brain, I'm going to sit here and just write out 2 pages of notes. What happened, what I think went wrong, what I know went wrong, how, the issues I can see in the future, how do I fix them, all that kind of stuff. Did it right then and there. So it was fresh in my brain. I could put it on paper, and then I'll come back to it later, tomorrow, today, whatever, and handle my business. Ooh, I got to hurry up. So one of the things was, why does my camera keep failing? Is it the Xbox app? Do I want to just plug my camera into the Xbox, something like that? Today, while doing some testing, I realized, hey, camera's hot. My light went off. Camera shut off. Hey. So I put my camera in a different position on one of my other monitors. Hate that viewpoint, because I'd like to be able to look at the camera, or at least in the direction of the camera. I know I keep looking down, but I like to keep looking at the direction of the camera, even if I'm looking at the game screen, so I'm not like this, talking to the game, talking to people, whatever, which I know is pretty common, but it's just not the view that I want. I want to be able to kind of communicate with my audience, and I'm ADHD. I don't like eye contact, but at least I like to me, it's a sense of respect and politeness to at least be facing the person or people I am interacting with. The other thing was, if I can't get the streaming to work, do I continue to just record and upload? If that's the case, what's the best way to do that? Best way for me, easiest way for me, whatever. Again, OBS is the current one I'm trying to use. I don't know if there's a better one. I know of a couple of other ones. If anybody has any recommendations, please let somebody know in the comments. But yeah, the only problem with using OBS and stuff like that is it's not good for podcast. It's great for gaming content and overlays and stuff like that. So right now I'm using Microsoft Clipchamp for my podcast episodes, which seems to be working great. Camera quality looks good. I need to work out a new battle station, get my green screen going so you guys don't have to see my messy ass house every time I do this, which doesn't really bother me. I know my house isn't really messy. This is just the communal area where as soon as you walk in, kind of put your stuff down, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But again, I also don't want to be showing off my house if people walking by, that kind of thing. I need to have my own little creative space to, do my thing. I mean, even if I make the podcast a couple times a week or something like that, green screen, whatever, kind of personalize it. If I want to put some sort of effect behind me, some sort of background, somewhere, whatever, blah, blah, I would like to be able to do so. And then the last thing I kind of want to talk about is my plans for the future. I wanted to do this today, make a podcast episode and actually upload it here on the 2nd of September, which I'm going to do. Here I am recording it. This seems to be going pretty well for me. I'm going to go back and watch this. I'm liking it so far. I feel like my energy is good. My attitude is good. My motivation is good. I'm cool with this. So I have here that I wanted to make a podcast episode, discuss, my absence and stuff like that, my streaming attempts and issues and things I had last night, how I plan on fixing them, which I kind of got into, and my plan to upload this. And I want to upload a gameplay video as well. Hopefully today, maybe tomorrow, but my goal is to try to stream or record, whatever, but excuse me, I want to have 2 videos. Jesus. Oh. I want to have 2 videos up by the end of the day tomorrow. This podcast episode and a gameplay episode. It will be Lightyear Frontier. It's gonna be an hour or so into the game, so people aren't really gonna know what's going on in terms of the game, but that's fine. I want to make a gameplay video with me and this face in it that looks good, sounds good, hopefully has game audio and my audio mixed. Hey, there's the word. Mixed correctly. And have like at least an idea of, okay, these things work. I can just change out the games and the topics I want to talk about, but this is a formula that works for me, at least for now. So that's kind of where I'm at on that. I think I've talked about everything I want to talk about. This is episode 2 of the podcast. I would like to continue uploading it. Hopefully a 3rd episode is coming within a week or 2. So with that, I want to thank everyone for watching. Welcome back. Hopefully my views get more hopefully my upload schedule gets far more consistent, and hopefully you guys like it. I know clouds just hit out of nowhere. I am in Florida, so I know it's supposed to rain a little later on this afternoon, but luckily the lighting is not terrible. But again, thank you guys for coming back and watching. I really appreciate you. Again, a view is better than no views. At least I'm making something and I'm putting it out. If I'm helping somebody, cool. If I'm helping myself, that's cool. So we'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you. Bye-bye.